that Zack Snyder's actually managed to make a film longer than one of our old podcasts. Da-da-da. Right, that's it. I'm keeping the powder dry. Right, after that, I had to get that one in there. Sorry.
Let's not put that to the test, eh?
No, let's not. No.
But you don't see. But you don't see. You don't understand.
You don't understand. You need the full 4-hour fucking podcast.
Yes, you do. You need it. You see, because the fans wanted it. They wanted the Snyder cut of the Black Dog podcast.
The Metcalf cut. Release the Metcalf cut.
Release the Metcalf cut. Release it.
where he sits record at 9 o'clock and then just goes home.
Yeah, it's got everything in it. It's not any paused or anything. It's uncut. So you'll hear him scratching his ass and everything. It's just everything, all the meat. And believe me, when he scratches his ass, there's some meat there. There it is. Oh, yeah.
Oh, hear that scratching in slow.
He's just got to hope he don't get an itchy nose and go a bit like straight after.
Use the other hand. That's the extended cut.
Write it on the back. Write it on the back of each hand. There we go. Arse, scratching face. Yes. No, my eye.
Oh no!
Oh no!
I wasn't thinking.
I look like a sexual deviant. No. I am, but I don't want people to know.
Black Dog Podcast presents Lee and Darren Discuss. This episode,
Zack Snyder's Justice League.
hello everyone, and welcome to a special. We ain't done one of these since Black Dog version 2. But it's just me and Darren.
It is. It's a bit echoey in here.
Yeah. Jim isn't here for reasons which will become abundantly clear, and
Yes.
Delton's not here because he's just not here.
He just couldn't be asked.
Yeah, well, he's not going to be here. Yeah, he just couldn't be fucked. But he's not around for the next episode either, Tuesday's episode. So,
Right.
which is Clue, just to give everyone some context.
Indeed.
But we are here, Dal. Why are we here? Why are we? What did we watch?
Well, we watched a little short film that they released recently. About men in tights and a woman in body armor. We are here to discuss Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League. Let's not say remake.
Well, I don't
Drop
know
us for
about
goalposts. Oh.
Yes, yeah, that's right. We're here to talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League because you know what? You're nobody if you're anybody, or if you're nobody, you're somebody if you haven't got some sort of fucking hot take on this stupid thing.
Yep.
Which
So we got to do it because otherwise we're irrelevant. You know that, don't you? I mean, we are anyway, but
well, exactly. But you know, this is the kind of quality output you expect from the 52nd most popular film podcast in Venezuela.
Oh yeah, this is it. I mean, we've got a reputation to uphold.
Exactly.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. You know, what would you expect from number 1,273 of the Apple film charts under category of random? It's this kind
under
of
category of how did that get in this list? How did that get in there?
Yeah,
what's that all about?
Yeah, I'm looking for a podcast on depression. How the fuck do I find this? Anyway, so well, you might find it anyway because we're going to talk about Justice League. Yeah, everyone's got an opinion of it, and I'm saying this right up front. Regardless of what our opinion of it is, if yours is different from ours, so fucking what? I'm just saying that right now. All right? Because before we get into the discussion of it, every time this stupid fucking film has ever been mentioned, regardless of what we think about it, you will get a million rando Calrissians appearing on your Twitter feed going, well, actually, and it's like, thank you, random person. Who the fuck are you, and why did I ask your opinion? I don't think I did. Yeah. So if you are one of those people, you are listening to this, you've got your own opinion. You've probably made up your own mind of what we're going to say already. So let's save each other the bother and say that you've said your bit, we don't care, I've said our bit, and you're angry. We can just move on. I think we can do that from the start, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Good. I think once we've got the ground rules laid out. So, so if you do disagree with our opinion, you don't know which way we're going to go. I think you can guess, but you don't know which way we're going to go. Then, if you got preconceived notions of what we're going to say, then just save us all the bother and don't say anything. Because we'll just take it as read that you've said it. Because we've got it already.
We've got it, man. We've got it. We're there. This is just two opinions.
We're obviously holding the Apple phone wrong.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Whichever way we go.
Yeah, it doesn't matter which way you go. You're wrong.
So there you go. Yeah, we're wrong. We've accepted that. So thanks for coming. Thanks for your indignant rage at a random person on the internet. And do please now fuck off. Anyway, so with that all out of the way, and half of our listeners all disappearing into the sunset, let's talk about this film. So before we get to the fucking thing itself,
yeah.
I think I'm dealing my hand early, aren't I? Really?
I think you are. I'm just making notes now because being old, I'll think of things and go, oh yes, that's a good thing to mention later on, and then it'll just go. It'll be like steam. It will just escape out of a window somewhere.
Yeah. You'll have non flashbacks. Before we get to the main review, let's talk about the shall we say the Justice League. Yeah, the Joss.
Hold on, call it the Joss Stick League.
Yeah, the Joss Stick League. League. I mean, you saw this, I saw this. And what do we think about that before we go any further? What did you think about it when you saw it?
What did I think about it when I saw it?
The original one, yeah.
The original. It felt a bit. It felt rushed.
Mm.
It felt like somebody was trying to cram stuff in there. They were. I mean, it felt like a director had just been added onto it at the last minute.
Yeah,
that's it. It felt like somebody else just, steered the ship.
Yeah.
So they took the steering off the old captain and just tried to go to, like, imagine, right? This is how I see it. Imagine you've got a cruise liner, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like somebody setting sail for the Caribbean from Portsmouth, right?
Yep.
Getting about halfway there, and then somebody Shanghaiing, getting rid of the captain, taking that over from that, and then wanting to go to Brisbane. And it's like, or going to the Caribbean via Brisbane. It did that. It was kind of, oh no, this doesn't feel. It doesn't feel natural. This doesn't feel like a natural progression.
Yeah.
Plus, also bits that you've got in there, promising bits. Like now, I'll give you an example. Like the whole nightmare sequence, right?
Okay.
Now, you take that and you're like, we're getting the alternative. We're getting this alternative Earth thing, right, or a future vision. It's like, this is okay. Let's see where this. Oh, it's gone.
Yeah,
and you're finished. And what was that all about?
Yeah.
And it's just, it was a wasted opportunity. That's what it felt like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, I thought when I watched it that it felt like what it has been all along, which is the culmination of 3 films trying to be 10 films. It just felt like that. It felt like too many Warner Brothers people had gone, oh yeah, we're fine with Batman. What do you mean you can make other films with other superheroes and mash them all together and then get a big one at the end? Fuck. Hold on.
I want one of them.
I want one of them.
I want it now. Okay. Yeah. I want this thing that took 10 years to build, right? Okay. I want you to build it in 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's what I want you to do.
call us Marvel shills if you prefer, but you can't compare. You can't talk about one superhero franchise without comparing it to the other because it's the nearest bloody thing. And
really, you think so? Well, it's funny you should say that, Lee, because as I was watching the Justice League, I actually gave them. Me and Ree were sitting there watching this, and we gave them all new names. Okay, because just in case you don't believe that. Hold on, let me just find it.
Right. Man looks up own notes on the internet.
Exactly. Let me just have a look at this. This is really great.
It's good telly.
Right, okay.
Good podcasting. Yeah, go on.
It is good. Right, okay. So see if you can try and recognise the characters. So the Justice League comprised of Aquathor, Spider Flash, Captain Wonder, Ironborg, Bat Widow, Super Marvel, and the Martian Vision. So,
because
come on now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we might all. I've got a lot.
I'd just like to say, by the way, Spider Flash was Ree's. I couldn't resist that. I had to nick that. I ran with that when she said that. It was like, oh yeah. I could see this. Sorry, got on anyway.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's the thing. The problem is that Justice League came out a year or two before Infinity War and Endgame. That must be said right off the bat to give the due, because
it did.
You have to give everyone their due and be honest about it, because otherwise you'll get someone go, "Oh, you're a Marvel shill. You only know the Marvel films." No. We've got to just compare.
even one of the guys that was on it, the guy that played Cyborg, Ray Fisher, mentioned about the fact that Joss Whedon had taken scenes straight out of the Avengers and put them straight into Justice League.
Well, yeah. I mean, that is the thing. I mean, you can't avoid the comparisons when the director's the bloody same as well. So there you go. But I mean, to go back to the original version of this, I thought it was a crushing, boring, stupidly, thuddingly dull movie. It was one of those films where once one thing doesn't matter, then nothing matters. And I just sat there for 2 hours, like doing the visual equivalent of this. If you can imagine the expression, it was it.
Yep.
And it was because it was trying to, I just came away thinking, if you had a Cyborg film, if you had a Flash film, if you had an Aquaman film, you had a Superman film and a Batman film with Affleck in it, then fine, you could come to this and go, right, I'm invested in you. But you don't. You just get, here's all the people, here's all the things, here's all the information, here's an info dump, here's a punch up, the end. And I just I don't fucking care. It was like watching those cutscenes from a Japanese RPG, like sort of a 12 sequel. You're looking at it, and you're just like, I don't know who you are. I don't know why I should care about any of this. I really don't. So that was where I was. That's where we were. Mm-hmm. So now. It's easy to do the thing, right? I made a joke about this on Twitter, that every review of Justice League goes like this. 1,000 words is about the fan thing, the fan campaign. Then you have 500 words dedicated to how Joss Whedon's fallen from grace and how he wasn't as good as all that. And, any improprieties he's done in the interim. Then you have 10 words, 500 words dedicated to how long the film is. And then finally you have 10 words saying all the same problems are still in this version. And then you give it 4 stars out of 5.
Right. Okay. So when they talked about Joss Whedon, being a bit rubbish, were they doing that while they were rewatching Buffy the Vampire Slayer for the 85th time?
Probably. But,
Yeah.
he's persona non grata now because of, shall we
Yeah.
say, bullying and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of that, so I'm just going to stay well away from that side of things.
Exactly. But that aside, your the work that he did, right? Whatever you think of Joss Whedon, people really love that work. You can't just suddenly say it was badly written overnight because he started bullying people. Just be honest. You enjoyed it. That's it.
Yeah. You enjoyed the thing. It's the separating the art from the artist, isn't it? It
is. It's all right. You might look at it now with different light. You might think, I can't watch that because of what he's done, but don't turn around and suddenly say, well, that was badly written. He wasn't much cop anyway. It's like, no, he was a big thing, right? That was it. He did this show, and the work that was done by everybody was fantastic, right? It was very enjoyable to watch. Of course, now it's tinged with this, but it doesn't take away from the fact that things like Buffy and even more so Angel were a really good, it's a really good set of shows.
And let's not forget Firefly and the Avengers itself.
Indeed, right.
But again, none of this stuff is condoning what he may or may not have done. And again, like I say, I haven't been following that side of things. I just know that he's fallen out of favour. He's done some bad stuff that everyone's ostracising him for, and that's fine. If he's done bad, fucking hammer him for it. He deserves it.
Damn right.
But don't tell me that because he's done that, I now have to ceremonially burn my Avengers Blu-ray out in the street. It's just like, ain't gonna happen. I'm still gonna watch it. So, anyway. So let's skip all the history, because what I was trying to say with that thing about the tweet was, every review does the same thing. It goes, what about the fan movement? What about Joss Whedon being fucking arsehole? And what about how long this film is? And then go, but everything's still the same. And then just move on. Let's just get to the fact of what we thought of the film.
Exactly.
Because
I've been dying to say something. It's like, hold it in.
So let's skip all the fan bollocks. Let's skip all the behind-the-scenes bollocks. You've just been presented with a 4-hour movie.
Yep.
What do you think?
I enjoyed it with caveats.
Mm-hmm.
There's stuff I didn't enjoy in it, but there was, let's say, I thought the story was more coherent because it had longer to cook rather than just this thing, go, move.
Yeah.
I think you've especially mentioned this before about how a scene should be crafted, how, you need to give it you need to give certain things time to cook.
Yeah.
Let's take a little time on this bit, but speed over the really, don't take time on the bollocks. Don't do a J.R.R. Tolkien, spend 3.5 hours talking about a bacon sandwich and then saying, oh, by the way, while they were cooking that, there was this big fucking battle that happened over there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Expand on the importance. And I thought, personally, for me, it seemed like a more coherent story. That was it. I was more comfortable with it. And I'm glad to see that he didn't have it didn't start off the same way that it did. It went in a different direction. You didn't have Batman egging someone over a thing to, as a fisher for the parademons.
Yeah.
So there was that. I like the fact also that they've obviously gone back to the drawing board with this on the special effects front, and they've done a good job on Henry Cavill's face.
Yeah,
because I was a couple of minutes into it, and it's like, hold on, his face actually looks human.
Yeah,
there's no,
it's amazing what you can do with £70 million and $70 million and like 2 years worth of development time. Can
we call this the Zack Snyder hindsight cut?
Can we call it that? That is definitely something I think you can accuse it of, because I more than anything, that's the thing that comes across with this for me. But we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, definitely.
So we're talking about the stuff we liked.
Let's talk about the stuff we liked.
Let's talk about the stuff. We'll do the stuff we didn't like afterwards, of course.
Yes.
And just go in.
Yeah.
The stuff. What else did I like? just all round the let's see. Ray Fisher, I thought was really good in it as Cyborg. I like the fact that they gave him a bit more meat. I thought the fighting in all of this was much better. The Wonder Woman part at the beginning, or when she goes in to do the thing, I thought that was handled a lot better because, and that you seen one of my bad points is slow-mo, right? So I like the fact that they took quite a bit. They took a bit of that off, and you see her zipping around and doing the thing because, like, we get it, okay? We get what she's doing. Don't need to see it slow motion every 2 seconds.
Yes,
and I'll get on to something else about that because there's even more to talk about where the slow mo is concerned. But anyway,
fart sniffing.
There's the action itself, the fighting, I thought it seemed a lot better. Somebody else said this. I think it was Chris Johnson mentioned it, and I've got to say I agree with him. I thought the way the fights were handled, they looked better. The whole attack sequences were different. The fact that Batman's technology, it stands up for one part of the battle, and then it's like, oh fuck, there we go, I've got to buy another one of them.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Flash was okay.
I mean, just to step in. I mean, just to say, I kind of agree with you. I think on a positive note, the fact that the Cyborg and the Flash both get a little bit more to do and a little bit more meat on the bone in their stories is a positive for sure, without a doubt. The only thing that comes crashing back is it emphasizes once again that whole thing of each of those should have been a film, Yeah,
it would have been nice. The whole sort of, looking at Ray's condition, and how it affects him.
Well, just that whole thing of like, he suddenly becomes like the embodiment of the internet at one point, and there he is. He looks at some lady and she's going through these horrible times and these horrible things that are happening to her, and then all of a sudden he just walks over and just sort of blinks at an ATM and gives her $100,000, and it's just like, bit more of that, bit more fleshing out of that. Show that he's a good guy rather than just someone who didn't have a dad around. I mean, this film could easily be called Daddy Issues, the movie.
Oh, God, yes.
To be honest. But, stuff like that, just all of this stuff that is actually positive in this film just reiterates what I keep going back to, which is you needed more films. You can't just jump to the fucking end and just hope to cram enough shit in there.
Exactly.
But anyway, go on. Sorry, mate. Go on.
Hey, no. I think this is just between this. I think it's a general thing anyway. You can't help but pitch in because we're going to have overlaps. I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So more coherent storyline, better action. Let's see. It also twigged. I also twigged why Superman actually does have the black suit. Why he needed the black suit, and he does need it. Well, he's just come back from being dead, right? Yeah. And Superman's body's a battery. Well, what absorbs light better than black?
That's interesting.
So there we go. And this is why he kept it on at the end, because he's still quite not there yet. So it's that whole thing of absorbing the sun's rays and, put black on, it's even better.
Right.
Because that absorbs light. So, there you go. So that's the way I thought of it anyway. I wasn't looking up. It's just a thing that twigged to me. It's like, oh, yeah, that would actually make sense. Not that anybody said it, but there you go. Let's see. What else did I like? I still like Alfred in it.
Yeah.
As well. I think, what's his Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's very good as Alfred. I think we've been lucky with the last couple of Batman sort of projects that we've had. I mean, I liked Michael Caine as Alfred. I mean, I think I like Alfred in just about everything I've seen. Batman thing is like, especially Gotham. you know, with Sean Pertwee. Master Bruce, get your ass down here now, you know. So Alfred, I think, has always been one of my favourites. Anyway, thinking about it now. But yeah, he was very good in this.
Yeah.
Let's see now.
Well, I mean,
general.
Yeah,
Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say if you were just stumbling for a second, I could jump in. But I mean, yeah. Is there any? Go on.
To me, it a lot of it. Me and Ree noticed this when we got to the end of the first part. It was like, well, that didn't seem like an hour. We actually were quite, you know, we're looking at it and quite enjoying it and really getting into it. So,
yeah.
So yeah, I thought in the most part it didn't. For me, it didn't feel like the amount of time that it was showing on screen had gone by. I actually watched it. And
did you watch it in a single sitting though?
We watched an hour of the first one, took a little break from it because we had to do some stuff, and then we came back and we watched the last 3 hours in one shot. Right. We got like popcorn in and stuff like that, and just went, right, let's watch this, let's do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, it was. I thought that was fine. Again, you know, the flow of the film was good up to a certain point, and I'll talk about that.
Yeah.
You know, later.
Nice.
So I think it was like, was it for 3 hours and something like 3 hours and 20 minutes, 3 hours and 40 minutes or 30 minutes maybe, however long the epilogue and the thing was concerned. Big problem with the epilogue. End it on the epilogue. End it before the epilogue. But we'll talk about that and have the whole Deathstroke thing as a thingy sequence, as a post-credit. Oh, we can't do that because Marvel does it. No, shut up. Look at what you've written here. Look at these characters. Don't tell me about we can't do that because Marvel's done it. You've just done 3 hours and 45 of what Marvel's, or you're trying to do what Marvel's done. So don't give me that bollocks, mate.
Yeah, that's it. You can't claim to be different and then 5 minutes later try and do exactly what they've been doing, but just
and then
do it faster.
End, no, we can't do that. It's like, no, you could do. But anyway, yes.
And I mean, I just say that I kind of agree. I think that the flaws that are still with the film in general are still there, but the fleshing out of certain characters helped. The sort of development of certain aspects of those characters helped, especially when it came to the main story about what the fuck they were going to do with the mother boxes and, you know, Cyborg's relations to them and all that sort of thing. But, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, it's still the same. It is ultimately the same film. I think, in a positive note, I think that it's made a more coherent film. Whether or not it's a better film, it's up for debate. I don't think it's actually any different in terms of what it ultimately delivers. But if you're talking about, okay, let's do this properly, then, you know, fine. And I think, you know, fans get what they want, and if that's what they want, then fine. But it's like, if it's for the fans of that universe, then good on them. Tip my hat to you. You've got what you wanted. I hope you liked it. Thanks very much. But if you're talking about it being any different, then I would just say I think we're talking Ridley's unicorn on this one. But because you know the Flash stuff was good. You know, the extra Flash stuff. You know, introducing Iris. You know, ultimately goes nowhere, but it gives him a little extra. I'll give you that. And and a little bit more with his dad. And again, that's fine. The Cyborg stuff, definitely. You know, you finally understand that he's not just there to be a fucking Mr. Data that we just prop up in the corner and every now and again he goes, hell yeah, and then just plugs himself into things and things just magically work.
Yeah.
And the other bit was Steppenwolf. But Steppenwolf, as a villain, looked better. I'll give you that. Even though he did look like one of those look like one of those anime redesigns of a Marvel or a DC character. You know, the ones where they sort of get hold of Batman, and then every corner is a sharp corner. It's like,
indeed, yeah.
If Superman sneezed in this suit, he'd cut himself in half. You know, it did look like that. But you know, giving Steppenwolf a bit of a extra backstory is fine.
Yeah, I like the bit where he was talking to. He actually had someone to talk to from Apocalypse.
Yeah,
and you had the involvement of Darkseid. As well.
Yeah.
Well, they changed that whole battle in the flashback or the historic retelling, shall we say? To Darkseid being there, which kind of then makes you wonder, why was Steppenwolf disgraced?
Well, exactly. That's the problem. That's where you come back to this thing of why were these not more films before you got to this? Because every time they dropped something like that, they dropped a little bit of nugget, just like whether it's Steppenwolf's disgrace and, you know, his betrayal of Darkseid or something. You go, okay, then you've got the running time. What did he do? And it just goes wah, wah, move on. And it's, to jump to the other end of it, Martian Manhunter, he's been floating around watching shit going on. And then what? Nothing. Why is he here? Well, just so we can go, evening, Boba Fett moment, evening. It's like, so.
Good day to you, sir.
Yes, good day to you. I said, good day. It's just like, why? What possible purpose was that? It was no purpose whatsoever. Apart from going, oh yeah, but you know that fucking general that got Superman in Man of Steel. Well, actually, it's the Martian Manhunter. It's the same.
Why didn't he show up during the fucking big battle?
Exactly. So that's the problem. As soon as you start expanding and indulging in this shit, you better be tying that stuff off rather than just going, we've got some new mysteries for you. It's like, why? Why give me new mysteries when there's absolutely no more chance of you ever getting another fucking film like this?
We're now falling into the territory of what we didn't like.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. The improvements were improvements. I'll be honest with you, but
definitely
they didn't. To my mind, they didn't justify the runtime, and the problems that I had with the original Justice League film, I still had with this one. It's just it took me longer to get to them. It's the short of it. So there you go. You can write up your 4,000 word fucking rebuttal to send to us that we won't read.
Indeed.
Now, but yeah. Okay. So let's get on to the rest of it. I mean, we're still in the Zack Snyder murderverse. In fact, more than ever now. I mean, how do you feel about that?
The Zack Snyder murderverse.
Well, that's what I call it because because frankly, every single fucker in this film will happily murder a bloke just because. It's like it's like that sequence at the beginning with the terrorists and Wonder Woman. In the Whedon version, she does punch a few guys. They've got guns. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
But by the end of this, she's like supersonically detonating people from a fucking mile off. It's just like, it's like, do you think that's a little bit excessive? No, let's just blow this building up. But it's okay. She's not really a psychopath because she turns around to the kids and goes, "Is everybody okay? You can be just like me, kids." It's like, what? Yeah. Yep. Anybody else want to be a sociopath?
I've just punched a terrorist through a wall because that's how you do it, right, kids?
Yes, I just hit this man so hard he vaporized. Yay! You know what I mean? Or fucking Superman punching Steppenwolf. It's like you punched him to the ground, you defeated him. Why are you hitting him and whacking him harder than a fucking epileptic having a wank next to a strobe light? I mean, you're literally
maiming him. He maims him as well.
Yeah.
He chops his fucking one of his horns off. It's just like, whoa, all right.
Yeah, it's like, right, okay. And, Batman just seems to be, well, I'm just all about the guns now. It's just like, oh, for goodness sake.
Yeah, I'm just going to be over here.
Yeah.
You get on with it.
So, I mean, how did you feel about that?
What about the
Murderverse?
The killing and the Murderverse?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, and it's that whole thing of it's got to be dark. Everybody's got to be dark. No, honest, it's all got to be dark. Everybody's got to be miserable. It's for me, it just shows, a lack of understanding. I think from Zack Snyder about the balance within the DC universe, right? Okay, you have Batman, who is dark because the clue's in his nickname, the Dark Knight. Okay, you see, and with Superman, it's supposed to be light because, well, the clue is in the fact that when people go to him, what's the symbol mean? It means hope. Right, that's hope. Positive force, right? Positive force.
In this universe, it means your insurance premiums are going up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you see it at the beginning when Wonder Woman takes out the terrorist. She literally blows the front of a building off, right? Okay. And I sat there and I said to Reed, that's exactly the thing with these films. I said Superman was like it as well. I said he literally leveled a city in that, and they people are not even an afterthought in this. The actual general public. It's not clear the area, get things done. And I know what you're going to say, people out there. Yeah, but they've done that in the Avengers, and it's like, and they actually got punished for it, if you remember as well.
Yeah, that's what the whole of Civil War was about. But
exactly right. There was
fallout.
Fallout from it. Right, there was a consequence. Okay, this was a main driving force for a whole film. It is the consequence of powers being unbridled and stuff. That what do you do about this?
But not only that, it was also that's the whole point. Is they, in the case of like the Avengers, they are trying to get people out of the way while also trying to fight this force. I mean,
exactly.
Man of Steel was like, that fucking building's coming down because I just punched the fucker. But
I'm going to punch you through this office block where they're still working overtime because Bob from accounts has fucked up on the actual paperwork, and so now his whole department's going to have to work this evening. They're not really taking any notice of the big super battle that's going on that side. But don't worry, right? Because you've just punched fucking Zod through the canteen that's taken out Tracy's fucking evening meal that she's had to put in a packed lunch. She's got no evening meal now. Okay,
what a bastard.
The kitchen out. Yeah, you've taken the kitchen out. The fridge is gone. That's it. And that's taken. This isn't a case of her walking in and going, "Who's eating my fucking lunch? Who's been in the fridge and nicked it?" Somebody's nicked the fridge, right?
Yeah.
The fridge is gone.
And the floor the fridge was on.
Yeah, exactly. There's just nothing there. Floor 5 is no more.
And it was pizza night as well. It's pizza Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. Zod is now wearing it as a hat.
Vaporized pepperoni all over his face.
He's like, "Oh, what's in this Tupperware container?" As he's flying at 4,000 miles an hour towards the Atlantic. It's just, I've got a snack. It's the in-flight meal.
As he's picking Dorothy from accounts out of his teeth with a fucking piece on his head. There's a hat.
And there's Bob from the mailroom shoved down his pants because he was up, unfortunately, in the wrong place at the wrong time, delivering the mail shop. He thought, I'll just get out of the way. I'm going to do it tomorrow now. Get out of the way. Get out of the way now.
Oh, God.
Too much work.
Yeah. So...
But yes, that's. I think we can still see it's. There's still that aspect about it there. Did you notice also they've got rid of the sub story about the Russian family living in the hut on the very sort of like toxic land?
Yeah. Well, I must admit that's the one thing I did appreciate in this version was that they took that bloody horrible red filter that was at the end of that whole film off of everything, which was fine.
Yep.
The bad news was that they replaced it with a single light bulb from about 20,000 miles away.
Now, I understand you had a bit of a problem with how dark it was, yeah?
Yes, I did.
I think we watched it on my phone, right? We had the phone on, and we watched this whole movie on my phone, right? I had it propped up, we were watching it. And I must admit, I put the brightness up quite far on my phone anyway, so to me, I could see everything that was going on, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was so bright, I could actually see how it pixelates between different, darkness shades.
Yeah. But that's the thing, isn't it? Mobile phones auto adjust their screen darkness to the surroundings. But my TV doesn't. So all I looked at was something that looked like a black cat in a coal mine, and occasionally a face would appear. I mean, it was dark. I mean, I literally I started making a diary that you pulled me up on. On Facebook as I was watching it.
Yes, I did, yes. Sir, powder dry.
But I was taking photographs, and I took a photograph every 25 minutes, which is kind of shows how...
Put that out there.
Yeah, I can. And it shows how engaged I was in the film, to be honest. But I took a photograph, and there was never once a shot, even in the daylight, there was never a shot where someone wasn't in a fucking pitch black silhouette, because you know what? Importance.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Darkness is important.
Darkness.
It's all about darkness.
Dark.
I mean, that's the thing. It just reminded me. It reminded me of the worst kinds of 80s graphic novels. And that's the thing all the way through this. Regardless of what you think of the story or the plot or anything else, it's that the whole tone of it is of a teenage kid going, but they got swears and blood and guts and tits in this. It must be adult. When it actually is the most immature thing ever to just have lots of blood, guts, swearing and tits in it, because anyone can just go fuck, shit, piss, arse, cunt, show a tit and then kill someone. That doesn't make it adult. That just makes it immature and stupid. And actually completely the opposite of what that person's standing up and going, look, it makes it adult, makes it grim and gritty.
Yes, yeah.
And to use the old Marvel analogy again, to pull the, if in all of that DC movie, in that Justice League, right, people are dying left, right, and centre. I mean, literally. By the bucket load. Parademons, people, soldiers getting melted in the fucking tanks when Superman goes off on one. I mean, everyone. People are just getting hammered, slashed, killed, burnt, you name it. And none of it made none of it after about 5 minutes, I just became numb to it. I was just like, okay, fine. Yeah. That's what it is. It is what it is. Green Lantern's getting his hand chopped off and stabbed through the heart. Yeah, fine, whatever. Compare that to the first 5 minutes of Endgame, when they find out where Thanos is, and they pop up and they lop his head off, and everyone goes, and the whole audience goes, and everyone goes, it's because if you're invested in someone and invested in a story, and you haven't seen that sort of violence for a while, if at all, to suddenly have it happen is actually a shock and has impact.
It is, yes.
Whereas
especially a head lob in a Avengers movie.
But, Steppenwolf, he loses a horn, he gets his head lopped off. Did you give a shit? Did you give a single shit?
No.
There you go.
This is it. Well, buddy, you're kind of like, it's a bit rough.
Yeah.
I know he's trying to kill the world there, but, still. Well.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Not only has he been pummeled into submission, not only has he had a horn chopped off, not only has he been stabbed through the chest with a fucking trident, but then for good measure he's hit at light speed through a gap, and while he's still going through, presumably with every bone in his body completely shattered and a hole the size of a 5-prong harpoon, and still bleeding from a horn that's just been sliced off, and he's got all his metal pushed through him, They just go, just for extra measure, let's fucking chop his head off as a measure.
Yeah.
His head comes off, and then Darkseid steps on it with a big...
I'm surprised they didn't fit him with the catheter as he went through as well. There you go. You have to weave through that for a while.
Yeah.
Have it.
Yeah. Give him a balloon catheter just to sort of really rub it in. Yeah. But,
or you'll be in bed for 2 weeks straight.
Exactly. I mean, it was just like every single one of them had to have a good kicking afterwards. It was like...
Well, it's just to show that they did something. But Superman didn't come...
Yeah.
Kill him. It didn't need them to do all that. It really did.
Exactly. Isn't the whole point of like these hero films, if a villain dies because they usually cause their own death, shall we say. They pull the last thing and force the hero into action. Sort of pull a gun as they're walking away, or pull a knife, or all that sort of stuff. In this one, it just felt like all the Justice League were like, "Go on, give him a kick in, just to prove a point. Go on, go on, have a go. Go on."
I'll give him a poke with a fucking. I've got me fucking. Batman's there with his bloody cocktail sticks. Yeah, fucking have one of them.
I'm surprised
in your hand.
I'm surprised they didn't just for good measure, because obviously dark, mature. We've all got swears and tits and boobs and fighting and death and all that sort of thing. I'm surprised they didn't go for the girl with the dragon tattoo method of death, of just literally hog tying him, sticking a dildo up his ass and giving it a good kick to punt him through the fucking hole at the end. The fucking dildo on fire up his ass.
Yeah, looking sort of like Darkseid in the eye as they light the blue touch paper on it. Yeah, look at this.
He goes sailing through. I mean, and the thing is, if they had done that, you still wouldn't have cared. You still would not have. You would have gone, well, that was a bit excessive. That would have been it, wouldn't it, really?
It was a bit rough.
Yeah. Oh, steady on.
Well, I have something else I have a problem with.
Go on, then.
And to do so, I'm going to explain it by playing a piece of audio.
Are you?
Okay. Yes.
Go on, then.
Which will, I think, put my point across quite effectively.
Oh, here we go. Go on.
To loss of slow motion, the episodes were running up to 8 minutes under. The only way to stretch them out was with slow motion. And we tried to keep the slow motion away from the dialogue as much as possible. But anything without dialogue was considered for slow motion.
There you go. Right? This.
Good old Dean Lerner.
Yeah.
True alter.
I'll admit, sometimes slow motion can be very effective. Right? And there was some bits where it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
But, Zach, when you have a slow motion sequence within a slow motion sequence, then I think it's time to sort of like just come away and just sit down for a while and have a cup of tea and a biscuit, right? And I can give you an example of what I mean, right?
Yep,
we're talking Victor, when he has a flashback to his football playing days, he's running along in slow motion, and then they slow it down even more.
Yep.
And then they speed it up to the slow motion it was before.
Yep.
And then they put it, and it's like, what are you doing? Why? Or, fine. I'll concede you do the flash stuff in slow motion, whatever. But why do I need somebody running up a football field done in slow motion?
Yeah. Well, that's the big problem with this whole runtime thing anyway.
It would have been a fucking half-hour movie had you not had all the slow-mo in it. Right? Yeah. This could have been done and dusted.
Well, it's the self-indulgence thing, isn't it? It's the right. They've got, Warners have gone, right, fine. This is what the guys want. This is what everyone wants. They want a 4-hour cut of this fucking thing. Go on, Zach. Off you go. Here's 70 million quid. Go finish your film, and come back when you've got something that lasts 4 hours that we can sell HBO Max on. And he just goes, right, crank up the 1,000 frame film. It's like, but when I was watching that, I actually I actually had in my head that scene in Deadpool when he has a flashback to meeting Blind Al for the first time, and then he looks at the camera and goes, "A fourth wall break inside a fourth wall break. That's like 16 walls." It felt exactly like that. It was, except without the tongue in the cheek. It was just,
oh God,
it was so overindulgent. And that was the problem all the way through, wasn't it? It was just like, if you got a 4-hour runtime, then yeah, okay, fine, do your cyborg thing, do your Flash thing, but don't leave us hanging on like that fucking stupid epilogue and the fucking ridiculous.
Okay,
we'll get to the epilogue. Don't worry. We could.
I was going to say, all right, fine. I shall sit on my hands for the minute.
And Steppenwolf, and then suddenly have him like, "I was disgracing this dark side. Disan, why do you not talk to me?" All this kind of bollocks. And it's like,
dark side, why don't you talk to me?
Talk to me, dark side. But
I've got my chopper.
Sorry.
Exactly. But it's like all this stuff. And you're like, okay, you're leaving us hanging here. And then 5 minutes later, we've got like slow-mo within a slow-mo within a slow-mo. Or in the case of like Aquaman, the first time you see him talking to Bruce, and then he goes into the water, and then we've got to stand there and watch a whole bunch of Icelandic people singing in Icelandic for 2 minutes. Just gobbling on while one lady picks up his jumper and sniffs it meaningfully. It's like, what the fuck kind of old toss is this? What is that doing?
You know what? In that village somewhere, there's her house, right? And in her house, there's a filing cabinet, and in that filing cabinet are 53 envelopes full of his pubic hair. That's what it is. Yeah.
She's scraped off of various surfaces.
Yeah. Did you notice something? Talking about the fucking sniffing a jumper thing, right? Okay.
Right.
Did you notice that every time he went back into the water, no matter what he did before, he was removing his vest, right?
Yes.
And it's like, well, hold on a minute. So let me get this straight. You're removing a vest which has got no real restriction to it whatsoever. But why did you have if you've got a problem with swimming with a vest, right? Why did you have it on in the first place to rescue the guys who were in the boat? Why didn't you take it off before you got in the water and end up bare-chested and that coming out of it?
Because they're gods. You have to show their muscles. It's all about the muscles and being gods.
Hey, look at all the work I did on this. Look at this. My perfectly chiseled body. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, oh, my life. I mean, it's that kind of bullshit was just... every time you saw Aquaman, we had to go into slow-mo within slow-mo within slow-mo and then get a Blue Stratos fucking Old Spice advert where invariably the waves would go up and splash and he would disappear in a cloud of spray. Which is fine once, but if you're going to do it 4 fucking times, you've just wasted 10 minutes of your runtime. You've wasted 10 minutes of your runtime, along with the Icelandic babe sniffing his jumper, along with, saving some random guy on a beach. I mean, it's just like...
I'll tell you what, it's a good job he didn't turn up on a push bike. He left his push bike behind, love. Oh.
Ooh, the rest of them all stop singing and she's still sniffing the seat.
Exactly, and then it's the next scene is her being booked in and put on a special list. But there you are. Fucking hellfire. It's like all this, it's that, try to make something quite poignant and failing miserably with the whole effect. Because I thought I was looking at it, why is she sniffing his jumper?
Yeah.
What does it smell like? Barnacles and dead fish. It's just like, did you get off on that? Is there a kink? It probably is Rule 34. There we go. Different sport of it.
Oh, come with me to the rolling ski where the rivers come and still. Have some fun and laughter with the adventures of Portland Bill.
I tell you what though, it did make a change from them actually slowing it down and then playing any old Tom Waits straight over the top of it. So, I want to recut some of those slow motion scenes and play, just I don't know.
Yakety sax.
Yeah, not even that. Just like fucking Funky Moped by Jasper Carrot. The beginning of that. The lights were grovy colours. The band was playing slow. Fucking hell.
Fucking Val Deacon.
Some of my best friends are songs. Yeah, exactly, Val. Whatever. I'll never forget the patches of sweat from under your armpits. No, Val. No.
She's sniffing Val's jumper.
That's not what you want.
Get off,
yeah,
Val.
exactly. Val Doonican is Aquaman. We were missing a trick. All you got to do is a reface on it. That's all you got to do. Get
Well,
the fucking
the speed of the footage, I think, would be quite easy to do. Oh,
exactly.
Dear. But, wow. I mean, that was the problem, isn't it? It is self-indulgent. The whole film from start to finish is.
So we're going to give it... and they even fucking played Hallelujah in the fucking credits.
Yep.
Right? They couldn't fucking resist it, could they?
No. Yeah, the estate of Leonard Cohen just goes fucking Christmas is going to be good this week. Every
What's
time
that
Zack
thudding
Snyder
sound?
releases a film.
Yeah. Oh, that's just another 3 million quid just dropped on the pile.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. In the royalties room. Because we've got the royalties wing.
In the Zack Snyder slow-mo wing.
Yep.
We've
I'll tell you what,
dedicated an entire wing to it. Yeah.
You know what? It's like, Leonard Cohen was a popular artist anyway, right? Lots of people like him. But I'll tell you what, they've since Zack Snyder started doing superhero movies, and I am looking at you, fucking Watchmen. They've never had it so good. They thought they had it good before, but it's like, no, fuck me, look at the royalties coming in for this.
Yeah, Smashing Pumpkins retired on the Watchmen trailer. I'll tell you that.
There you are.
But
that's all
anyway,
good, man. Creates jobs.
That's what it does. That's what it does. Okay, then. Right. I mean, we've been talking about the overindulgence of the whole thing. I mean, can we just be honest here and say that you keep hearing about the Snyder Cut, yeah? How much of that stuff, right, actually existed before the Snyder Cut got greenlit?
I'm of the mind that this should have been called.
Yeah,
sorry.
No, I was going to say this is getting to your thing about the Marvel retro cut.
Yeah, this is the Zack Snyder hindsight reboot. That's
the
what
Mulligan.
Yeah, because he goes, I didn't watch the Joss Whedon one. It's like, no, you don't have to watch the Joss Whedon one. You don't have to watch it, because all you got to do is go on the internet and go, what's wrong with the Justice League? And you can take notes off of that, Zach. And I'm thinking, yeah, I know they gave him the go ahead, and there's a whole thing of all the studios didn't want him to do it, and it's like, bollocks, right? Let's just be honest here. They did want him to do it because they realised what a hash he was made of it the last time. They've got to save face. So we're going to release an extended cut now of the Whedon version, which they are doing. They're releasing an extended cut of it. I don't know why, but they are.
It's because it's Warner Brothers. I mean, that's the end. That's the end of it. I mean, all of this stuff. They've done it every time. They release a cut of his films, then they release an extended cut, and the people who are already slathering over the first cut go and buy the extended cut, and it's snake oil. It is literally like, well, you see this cut, you didn't think much of this cut, well, come and see the next cut because it's a lot better than the last one. Well, then release the fucking one that was any good then.
Exactly. Just
don't. I mean, it's like video games. Don't sell me a fucking video game and then sell me the 10 story bits that you cut out in DLC and then tell me that's what I should have had. Give me the fucking lot.
Yeah. Thanks, Bethesda.
Bethesda, yeah.
Cheers, Bethesda.
Or Ubisoft, as I've now found out after buying Assassin's Creed fucking
is it?
Odyssey.
Is that what it is? Right. Okay.
Mm.
Right. And you're not enjoying it? Well, we'll talk about that anyway.
Talk about
another
that
time.
on the cast.
Yes,
on the
we'll
actual
talk about
cast.
that on the cast. Yes. So back to this again. Okay. So let's see. So we've, as you say, overindulgence. Let's talk about the other part of the film, shall we? The bit that's been tacked on. The misplacement. This is the thing, right? Now, I'm going to say.
Well, this goes back to what was actually shot in the fucking first place. But
exactly, right. Now, when you had the whole nightmare sequence in this, right? It was put in the middle of it, and the problem for me with this is there wasn't enough of it. It just came and went, and there was no relevance. Now, they took the positioning of it this time and stuck it on the end, and it's like, right, so you've got, in the middle of the film, you've got Batman actually saying, I had a dream sequence where the Flash showed up and he told me this, that, and the other. It's like, well, we saw that in the original cut. Why didn't we see that? If you're going to mention it, why didn't you put the bit where the Flash turns up, like, where it was? Why don't you just have, like, Bruce Wayne overworked, falls asleep at the keyboard or whatever, Flash shows up, does his thing, and then you have this extended sequence. Put it in the middle, right? Don't put it at the end, put it in the middle. And then you've got the Lois is the key, which is a thing that makes sense at the end when Batman then, it's an explanation for him to bring Lois Lane in, right? To talk down Superman. Then it kind of makes sense. No, but what did you do? You stuck it on the end. Why did you stick it on the end? Well, originally we were going to have a sequel. Yeah, but you're not going to have a sequel now. So what was the point of putting that on the end in the first place? Why not stick it in the middle like you did last time?
But the other thing with it is they're sitting there as, as plain as fucking day is the Joker, played by, in this case, Jared Leto, who wasn't cast in the fucking Justice League movie or in the anything until Suicide Squad. So you immediately have to say, well, if he's in there and post-alcoholism, fucking Ben Affleck with his face that looks like, the size of, like, Lawrence Fishburne at the craft services, they're both sitting there having a conversation and you're like, okay, and why... What? 1 minute you're blowing smoke up my ass. You're telling me that you had all this footage, but you clearly fucking don't because you've suddenly included a character that wasn't even cast.
Oh, and let's talk about
after the film. But go on. Well,
now
he hasn't improved. Let's be honest, is he?
Well, I thought this it was going in another direction. They'd taken fucking metal out of his mouth. So I was like, well, I can understand what he says now. He's actually producing proper sentences. And I thought for a minute, oh, okay, he's different. He's obviously a different character now. He's been through some shit. And he's acting slightly differently to what he was before. But then he does the laugh.
Hold on, Jared's internet's gone down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's got lag. He's obviously got lag, and it's just like, and then you've got fucking Cyborg going, oh, he's found us, and it's like they're all going, Superman's found us. It's like, well, okay, let's take a look at that, shall we? I'll tell you how he found you. Superman has super hearing. Right, you might not know this, right? But Superman has super hearing, right? It's one of his many powers. Okay, and then you've got Jared Leto, fucking waffling on there, going like the fucking. I mean, what are you?
Like
are you
penguin.
the Joker? Or are you the Penguin? Yeah, are you the Joker? Or are you the Penguin? Obviously, he's that fucking twat, and he's pinpoint. This is it. You're supposed to be hiding. You're supposed to be stealth.
But I mean, firstly, Jared Leto is bloody appalling as the Joker, full stop, right?
Yeah, he's the worst. Well, for me, he's not my favourite Joker at all, in any way, shape, or form.
No, he doesn't. He clearly doesn't know what he's doing with the character, or if he does, he's doing something that just the rest of the world is just not tuned into. And
Yeah,
if you like that, then that's fine, but that's not for me. Gangbanger fucking juggalo is not my idea of a fucking the Joker. But the other thing was in that scene was the dialogue, yeah? Now, again, I come back to the fact that I don't, this was clearly filmed way after the film was finished, way after, anything. It was, I defy anyone to tell me that this was in the script and in the original cut on any format. But then you get the writing, which gives you the worst, most toe-curling, we're going edgy, guys, we're going edgy. When it kind of implies, firstly, it implies that, because the whole dialogue was just nonsense. It was just kind of a gibbering nonsense between Batman and it reminded me of all those sort of, those made for YouTube fan things where you get one bloke who's very good at his cosplay Batman and one person who's very good at his cosplay Joker, but neither of them are very good at acting, and the person who wrote the script is just wanking off because he's read Killing Joke one too many times. And that's what the script sounded like. But then they implied that he's Jason Todd and that he gives Batman a reach around. I mean,
I know.
You're just like, and then Batman just goes.
I sat there like, what?
Yeah, and then Batman just goes, "Don't worry, I will fucking kill you." And it's just like, oh, good lord, are we? Oh, it's that cringy moment again. Like, they pull it every time. They even pulled it in fucking Discovery, Star Trek Discovery, of how can we make this thing that's inherently seen as a childish property seem mature? I know what we'll do. We'll have someone say fucking in the middle of it. It's just like, no.
Yep.
Swearing is not big and clever. It's just stupid in these characters' mouths, in these situations. It's the Star Trek, it's the Data going, fuck yeah, or whatever it was, and he goes, oh shit, or something like that. You're just like, why? Why? That's a cheap-ass gag, doesn't do anything. Why do it? And I'm not a swearing prude, but it's just like, it's just something like watching your nan come out and start singing Firestarter. You're just like, what the fuck is going on here? Am I having a stroke? And
yeah,
exactly. And that was the problem with that whole scene. That whole scene, firstly, felt tacked on. Secondly, felt tacked on for a sequel that we will never get. I don't care what anyone thinks. By all means, petition whoever you like. As long as Warner Brothers see dollar signs in it, they'll do it. So fine, I'll be proved wrong. But as far as I'm concerned, nothing that came off that epilogue made me think, oh, I must see the next one. Did you?
Yeah. No.
And then,
if I think about it, if I've got to be honest,
no. And then they sort of imply that it's the Injustice universe. The suddenly Superman's come down and he's gone bonkers because Lois died in your arms. And it's just like, oh, for goodness sake. And then you get Batman waking up. Clearly this bit was filmed. This bit was filmed well early, because that bit, Affleck is not in his post BVS buffness. He's actually lost a bit of weight, so he's like, this was early Justice League filming, this bit of him waking up. But then it's like, just to overdo the indulgence some more. Here's the Martian Manhunter going, yes, I've been watching you all, and you know what? I think I'll come and join you. It's like, so you didn't bother then? What, you were hedging your bets, just hoping you could? And then on top of that, he flies away. Now, when you see someone fly away for the end credits, and this sums up the whole movie in a nutshell, right? You see Superman fly away at the end of Superman, or you see, Batman. He sort of the camera goes up the tower to him on the roof,
Yeah.
It's usually, 5-10 seconds? That's it. You sort of like, it's sort of like a ta-da, or, flies towards the camera, or, sort of like, or, Captain America goes, Avengers, and then it cuts.
Yes.
It's got that kind of, snap ending that you go, whoa, yeah. The fucking Martian Manhunter takes off of that porch.
Mm-hmm.
He flies around that lake at about 4 miles an hour, and he kind of randomly dribbles past the camera. He takes about a minute for that bit to end, and
That's
you just
a
go,
beauty pass, isn't it?
"What?"
It's a beauty pass. That's
It
right.
is a beauty pass, but it's just like for 90% of that shot, the only way you can see him is the reflection in the fucking pond. He's literally just floating up, and then he slowly drifts past the camera, and that more than anything summed this film up entirely. It's like he could have flown away. It could have taken 5 seconds. It could have been I'm the Martian Manhunter. If you need me, call. And the music goes dun 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 dun, snap. But it doesn't. It goes dun dun. I'm halfway there now. I'm over the lake. Flying over the building. Almost at the camera. Now I'm flying past. Please now cut the black. It's just like, oh, for goodness sake. Fuck me, Zach. I know you got 4 hours to fill, but, some bits don't need to fill the 5 minutes you got left.
Maybe that's why he wasn't in the battle, right? Because he was the slowest thing, actually, in the whole DC universe. Because,
he set off at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, and he still wasn't there. Just, but it's like I was just about to say the Avengers managed to get there in time, but it's like in the Batjet, in the Bat thing, right? I mean, even way back in the first, in the Wonder Woman movie, right? This is like back in 1918. Even Wonder Woman manages to make it from her island to London in a day, and do you know why that is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Go
because she's an Amazon and they qualify for 1 day shipping. So I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry.
And she was the best one, so she was Amazon Prime.
Oh no!
Oh dear. Yeah. So
that's probably why he wasn't there at the battle. He was just too slow.
He did.
Was it?
Yeah. He
was on the equivalent of one of those fucking scooters. The
Segways.
No, those push along scooters. Right, you put one foot on and push along. Right, he's on one of them, but he's on one with like one of those small battery powered fucking engines on it.
Yeah.
Or one of those, what was it the hoverboards? So they call them fucking hoverboards.
Oh yeah, hoverboards. Yeah. I mean, he did look. I mean, Affleck's face when he says, "I'm going to be here to help you," I'm the Martian Manhunter. It was like, Affleck's face was just like,
call me
the Martian Manhunter, or they could have just called me by my name, John Jones. But we'll leave it there. And it's just like, it reminded Affleck's face was just like, all right, battle's done. Thanks for your help. Sort of thing. And then,
what do you want?
What do you want?
That's exactly what you said as well, wasn't it?
It was.
Like, what do you want?
Yeah, what do you want? Look at me, I've come from far away. It's like, yes,
I'm special, me.
Yeah, it's like that's what happens when you order Superman on Wish.
Yeah,
he turns up.
This is it. Yeah, he turns up. He's gone off a bit because he's gone a bit green. And he doesn't have the full range of powers, and he's scared of fire.
Yeah, which would have been a lot of use in this situation, wouldn't it? Where pretty much every bad guy is dripping lava.
Yeah, I'm Martian Manhunter, and I'm idiot. Get out of me! Get
oh
off!
Fuck, I'm scared. I mean, yeah. So overall, then, because otherwise we will roll this into being a podcast longer than the fucking film.
Exactly.
I mean, really, overall, I mean, it's an improvement on the Whedon version. I don't think anyone's going to deny that. But
No.
given that you know what it's like now, do you think that was 4 hours well spent?
It could have been shorter.
Yeah.
It could have been shorter than what we got. We didn't need the bits on the end. We didn't need, didn't need any of that because it's not going anywhere. So what is the point?
No.
Just cut your losses out and just end it with people, Superman all a lot standing there and smiling and, hey, you did a good thing.
Yeah.
And then that's it. End it on that shot. Freeze frame, fade to credits.
Yeah.
There you go.
Exactly. I mean, the fact of the matter is you don't see Superman until the final hour of a 4-hour movie. So you got to say, well, then what's in the other 3 hours? What is there that builds up to that moment? And it's just The Flash and Cyborg, and the rest is the film that we've already seen and all just sat there and yawned through.
Yeah. I must admit, the whole thing of, getting the idea to bring back Superman was better done. I thought that actually made more sense.
Yeah, I go along with that, and also I like the idea that they've now told you that if the Flash runs at the speed of light, time runs backwards, so it actually makes sense. You can actually he can control time by just simply running faster, which again, if you're gonna do that, then do that nightmare thing of Barry popping through and going, "Hello, here comes Nightmare." And then fucking off back into the future again, because you know what? He can do that. He can go backwards in time. And it's like, well, if he can do that, there's your answer to the next film anyway. You know what's coming.
Yeah, Flashpoint.
Yeah. He goes that fast, he fixes everything. Oh, Flashpoint, bang. It's just like, I mean...
But you have to put a caveat on that as well about the whole time travel thing. It says that he can't do it too often because it could kill him. Right? Put that in. Just drop that in there. And there you go. That's your... Well, if he can go back in time, why don't you just go back in time all the time and fix everything? And it's like, well, he can't because it would kill him. But nobody says that. Nobody puts that in there.
And
nobody makes that suggestion.
And that's the problem. That's the problem with this whole film, right down to the very bare bones. You've got 4 hours. You've got 4 hours to fill this fucking thing out. Fill it out with information. Fill it out with backstory. Fill it out with stuff. Don't just fill it out with people sniffing fucking jumpers, singing Icelandic songs, and occasionally, every now and again, Amy Adams looking sorrowful while they play the Hans Zimmer music just to remind you that she even fucking exists. Because, let's be honest, was she paid by the word, I wonder? Because I don't remember a single thing about Amy Adams in this film at all, and I only watched it like 4 hours ago.
The only thing I remember about Amy Adams is thinking, why has Martian Manhunter just turned up as Superman's mum to tell her to go back to work?
Yeah,
you bloody benefit.
Yeah,
you benefit fraud. Get back to work.
Exactly. But again, that makes the Martian Manhunter thing at the end even more ridiculous. He knows what's coming. Yeah. He's trying to get Superman back in the game by getting Lois back in the game. And it's like, well, if you know that, get in the fucking game. Do something. And that's the problem with this. If you're going to indulge this fucking screenplay, then fill out the problems with the screenplay. Don't fucking make more problems. Fix the problems you got. It's just... The only thing I will say, this is the only thing I will say is a positive, which I had Zach pegged wrong, and I will admit to this, because I did this in the review of Justice League back in the day, when we did it on How Was Your Week, when I talked about it. And I said, you can see every shot that Zach did compared to every shot that Whedon did, because, there was always an arse shot. Yeah?
Yep.
And I always thought that was the case, because, after Sucker Punch was such an absolute clusterfuck of let's stare up little girls' pants for 4 hours while everyone fucking kicks people in the face with samurai swords.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I did notice that in this one, all the up the bum height level shots were actually removed.
Yeah, actually, thinking about it.
Like the shot which made me laugh always is, you see Batman and he's got a fucking super duper Merc, and then the next thing you know, you see, Wonder Woman and she's got a super duper Merc as well.
Super duper Merc was like product placement.
Yeah, but in the Whedon version, the camera goes past the Merc symbol and stays at door handle height. While Diana talks to Cyclops. It reminded me of all those shots in Mass Effect 2 with Miranda, where it's always staring at her ass, and like the person she's talking to is like 400 miles away off in the corner.
Yeah,
and I thought, that's a Snyder shot, that is. And then the bit when she's fighting in the terrorists in the building at the beginning. And she does that thing where she spins on her knees, and the camera actually went into slow-mo, and it went, boom, and it's like, yeah, I can see what you're doing there, cameraman, director person. Don't think I can't see what you're doing there. You are slow-moing, not for dramatic effect. You are slow-moing for the wankathon. And yet in this one, it actually goes the other way. She sort of comes storming in, and she moves like fucking Quicksilver. She's like all over the place. Yeah. And I thought, oh, okay, I'll take that back. I will admit to that. I had Snyder pegged wrong for that. So either that or he heard all the criticism about it and took him out. But as far as I'm concerned, whatever Whedon has supposedly done or not done, his most damning indictment is all of his shots with the butt shots taken out. It's like all the offcuts of the last film are now in his evidence A locker bag. Anyway. I don't know. You got anything else to say about this film? I mean, I personally will never watch it again.
I've got to say, right? I had one fanboy moment.
Go on.
While I was watching this, something that I noticed that was presented to me on the screen, and I just went, "Oh,
go on!
That's what I think it is, isn't it?"
Go on.
And that was the Batmobile from The Dark Knight Returns.
Oh God, yes. Yes.
That I just for a minute there, it was like, oh.
I think that was the final moment for me where I just went, right, okay, that's it.
I'm done.
We're done. I'm out. Because that was fine as it was, but it was just another nail of like, darkness, no parents, remember this, it's Dark Knight Returns, where everything is dark.
Darkness.
Exactly. Darkness, Batman, kill everything. It's just like...
Best Batman.
Yeah, the Lego Batman. I think so. I would happily agree with that. But, that's the problem. It took what little humour there was in the Whedon version and sucked it out to be deadly po-faced. Everything is serious. Everything is important. It's like, wow. It was literally like when you go up to someone and say, your thing is childish. And they go, no, look here. Oh, it's important. It's like, no, it's not. The 80s and 80s comics have moved on. Dark Knight Returns was a good comic of its time. Watchmen was a fantastic comic, but of its time. Leave them there as classics that you can always read and always enjoy, but Batman doesn't have to be just Dark Knight Returns forever.
No, I think the animated TV series showed us that.
I tell you what, if they made an animated TV series live action version and it was exactly the same tone as that, I would be down for that in a heartbeat.
Yeah. I think somebody said I was watching. I've been watching quite a bit about that actually recently, and there was an interview that somebody did with one of the people on it, and they said it was like Batman has finally dealt. He's finally dealt with the demons. That's it, and he's now getting on with it, and that's what this is the Batman you find in this series. Yeah. He's not this, heavily weighed down individual. He's actually kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah, but that's the whole point, isn't it? Batman is the Dark Knight detective. What he isn't is 6 goths talking about philosophy while occasionally going on the odd murder spree because people don't like his mum. I mean, it's just... Jesus. I just can't... I can't get behind this constant clamouring for fans to make Batman super grounded, super realistic, ultimately bleak story. That's not what Batman is. Batman was only like that for Dark Knight Returns. It's literally one book. That's it. You know, anything like The Cult or Night of the Demon or fucking Hush or The Long Halloween. Batman is shades of grey. He's a person. He has fun as Bruce Wayne. He doesn't just sit there in a black... Well, as in with Justice League, which made me really laugh when I finally decided that's enough. I can't take any more of these photographs of dark screens. But, not only is he Batman with the black jumbo jet, but inside the black jumbo jet, it's got black carpets, black walls, black ceiling, black furniture. I mean,
He's black.
Only reason I knew Alfred was in that plane was because the plane tilted towards the sun and the sunlight came through the fucking window and I caught the end of his nose. Batman was literally flying in a sensory deprivation tube. It's like, no, I'm sure he understands that there are more colours in the universe than black. Yeah. Just maybe, can we just move on from Dark Knight Returns, please?
No,
never. Jesus H. Christ. Anyway, yes, I thought that this film was an improvement, but overall, it's still a crushingly dull, bleak, blackness, darkness, grim and gritty for importance. Bollocks. It's just total crap. It's still crushingly dull. What about you? Last thoughts?
Well, I enjoyed it a little bit more than that, and I would say that overall, apart from the end parts there, the bits tacked at the end.
Oh yeah,
I can quite easily switch it off when it's the words epilogue come up. Let it just stop.
Yeah,
just leave it at that. I don't need the Mass Effect rewrite ending. Of
the
extended. Thank you very much.
The extended cut. Yeah, half a dozen sequences of painted backdrops just going, and this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then the best things happened.
And then this one went off and got a sandwich, and then this man made a difference to how they, I don't know, weigh cucumbers in Australia.
By the way, actually, while I'm thinking about it, because I've just noticed one of my notes, what was the point of Deadshot?
Deadshot?
Was
Deadshot in it?
Not Deadshot. I mean, what was the other?
Deathstroke.
Deathstroke. That's it. Deathstroke.
Right. Okay. The point.
What was the point?
The point of the whole Deathstroke thing, and this is why you could just cut the film at the end before the epilogue comes along, right? The point of him being there in the first place, and he was in the Whedon cut, was because they were going to do a Legion of Doom movie, right? And it was going to be Deathstroke in the Legion of Doom, along with was it a few other villains as well? They were going to do that. It's like the whole bloody Sony Sinister Six thing they had for Spider-Man that they never fucking well.
No, I can still hear the plane crashing from over here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's why they had Death in that little sequence on board the boat at the end of Justice League. It was to say that And I've got to say, if there's one villain that I was actually disappointed not to see a film of, it was him, because I think Joe Magliano in it. He just it was like, he took the helmet, started speaking. I'm thinking, yep, I'm convinced he could have played a really good Deathstroke, but that's not going to happen now.
Yeah, and then they tag him into the actual epilogue as well. Yeah,
no, this is it. That's where it was the epilogue anyway, wasn't it? Where they had him turning up on the boat, or was it just before the epilogue?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, it was the epilogue, because then they had Lex Luthor.
Yeah, but that was the thing. He turns up with Lex Luthor and then makes a deal with Lex Luthor. Then it jumps forward to X amount of years, and next thing you know, he's working with Batman. So what you've done there, effectively, is shown you the start of the story and shown you that it really don't matter, because we're friends now. It's like...
Yeah, because it's the enemy of my enemy. And, obviously, fucking thingies what's his face? Thanos. I mean, Darkseid is, is a bigger deal. Yeah. So it's like, let's all work together and kick his ass, and then we'll go back to kicking each other's asses. After that,
I gotta say this now. This is probably gonna get me fucking ram-raided or something.
No, go ahead.
Did you not feel like? I mean, because that's what I thought you meant by the retro thing, with the mulligan edit, that they didn't look at like some of Endgame and go, well, actually, we could do some of that. We could have some of that.
They could do some of that. We could make our big bads more interesting as well, as in the fucking Darkseid. Let's get someone like Josh Brolin in to voice him, rather than fucking the Claw from Inspector Gadget. I'll get you next time, Batman.
Yeah,
next time.
But the whole thing with it was just that the whole focus moving to Steppenwolf felt like something that was actually relatively speaking an easy thing to add into a film, because he is entirely CGI. Everything he's in is entirely CGI, and so yeah, we could spend we just get the voice actor from the Whedon cut in. Yep. We have him record another 20 lines of dialogue or 100 lines of dialogue or whatever it is that he needed, and then we can flesh out this character, because you know what, they did that in Avengers and spent an entire movie just following the bad guy around. And you know what, that was really cool. Oh, hang on, we could do that, and it wouldn't be as bad as having to get like Ben Affleck out of AA and or getting Henry Cavill to come back in with different facial hair or something. We can just get a CGI thing and put it in a corner with talking dialogue.
Or how about even just fucking with this your whole thing about all this stuff should have been different movies. You could have had a Darkseid movie. You could have had show his rise to power. Where he came from, do something a bit different. You don't see that in any animated show. I don't think there's ever been a portrayal of Darkseid's
other than just being bad for bad's sake and turning up and going, I want the anti-life. And it's like, yeah, okay, fine. And what are you going to do with it? We're going to kill everybody. Okay, why are you doing that? 'Cause I'm evil. Look over there, I've got exploding planets.
But I have to say, the most comical thing I've ever seen with Darkseid, I'm just going to call him Thanos again. Yeah. Is there's an animated feature called Batman Superman Apocalypse, right? And it's about the arrival of Supergirl. Now, Supergirl is actually more powerful than Superman, right?
Yeah, I know this one. It's yeah,
and it's the fucking thumping she gives Darkseid, right? Literally, she hands his ass to him with a fucking pretty bow on it, right?
Yeah.
And then it's the way that Darkseid says to her, like, well, I would beat you up. No, honest, I would kill you, but I've got to go because I left some peas on the boil. I better get back because, I wouldn't want the water to burn, and because that wouldn't be very good for the peas. So I've got this to do, but it's a good job I got the peas on the boil.
Yeah, because I'd be right back. I would.
Yes, you can't see him, but I've got a servant who's invisible that doesn't talk. He's mute, and he's actually holding me back right now. Yes, I've got to go. Oh, this is it. I'm off. Time's up. I'm going. I don't want to, but I'm going to anyway.
Yes. I'll be back.
Yes.
Something.
When I can be bothered.
Yes.
And you smell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he's gone.
Look over there, a monkey. Run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I did get the retroactively fixing things vibe.
It is. It's like you're not going to tell me that your thing was radically different, because I have trouble believing that now. I have trouble believing this is like George Lucas with the sequels to Star Wars.
I was always doing 9 of them. No, I was always doing 6 of them. Yeah.
No, you weren't, George, because when you first released the film, it didn't even have a fucking crawl at the beginning of it.
Yeah.
Right? This is it. Or should I say, you did have a crawl, but you didn't have the title Episode 4, A New Hope. No, that came in much later, and it's on record as that as well. So, fuck off. I believe there's an element of that in here as well. It's hold on, because we were going to include that bit, weren't we? So let's just take it out now, and we can just pretend we weren't going to do it, and we can also say that that's just Joss's, because nobody believes a word he says anyway now. So let's just run with it, because we know this bit doesn't work. So let's just change that to it, and it's just. Just be honest.
Yeah.
And don't give me this bullshit about the studio didn't want it. Well, if the studio didn't want it, why is it being made? Why are they doing it?
And and more importantly, why is it that they're suddenly releasing a whole line of action figures based around it? Exactly. And that's the thing, right? I mean, going back to the previous comment about like the Watchmen and Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, and each one gets a fucking director's cut. It's like, if this gag works and people keep doing it, then people keep buying it, and people buy into the downtrodden. Oh, you've been done again. We wanted to see this version, and then suddenly it's like, buy it again. It's like, at what point do you see the man behind the curtain? It's like, right now, I guarantee you that as much as I don't think there is any way there's going to be a sequel to this thing, right now they are sitting there weighing up how the subscriptions went up on HBO Max, and how much Sky were willing to pay to get it on international distribution. And if that adds up to the extra 70 grand or 70 million, then they'll say, right, fine, that's even. But if it adds up to the $1 billion that they were hoping for, unlikely, but let's just say, I guarantee you, money will be the thing that drives this, not fans. I guess fans in a way, because fans fall for it. It's just like, everyone get on board. If you all subscribe to HBO and don't pirate this thing, and don't watch it on every other method other than if you don't pirate it and watch it and then buy all the toys, we might just make another one. It's like corporate Kickstarter. It literally is. It's just like, here's Watchmen. Didn't like it? Don't worry, we're bringing out a director's cut because you asked for it, fans. Batman vs Superman, didn't like it? Don't worry, we're bringing out a director's cut, fans. It's like, right? Seriously? Third time round, it's like, oh, for goodness sake. Man of Steel, didn't like it? Well, look what's coming. It's just like, and each time you see the people, same fans, come up and go, yeah, but the director's cut was so much better. Well, then release the fucking director's cut in one go. Why not? Oh, no, because then they get you to buy the same shit twice.
Double dipping.
It's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Double dipping. Here comes the mugs. Do-do-do-do.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, that's me. I think I'm done for it. You got any last thoughts, mate? Or
no, I think I've covered everything that I wished to say.
Lovely. Okay, well, there you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you've got thoughts on Justice League, or Zack Snyder version, or the original version, do feel free to send your emails to I don't care, don't want to know, at don'tfuckingemailme.com. And be sure to talk to us on Twitter at I don't care, don't twit me, I don't really care, honest gov. Can you see where I'm going with this?
I can see where you're going with it.
Because I don't give a shit. If you listen to this and you got all this way through and you're outraged, fine, be outraged. We're upset too. We watched it.
Yep, we've done our jobs.
We've done our jobs. So there you go. So thank you very much for listening. Or if you're very, very angry and typing loads and loads of excuses and reasons why, then... And, yeah. Dal, thank you very much for taking part in this. And thank you for giving over 4 hours of your life to this nonsense.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
And
I did it so somebody else didn't have to. So
that's right. And just remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to watch this film, do remember the contrast button is found under the menu settings, and you can turn it right up before you start. It's like the gamma settings on a video game. If you could see Zack Snyder's shoulders on his intro, then you've gone too bright. If his head isn't just a disembodied head floating in a pitch black void, in a Lovecraftian pitch black void, that's the right level of darkness. Anyway, I think on that note we shall leave it. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Darren. And
no problem, mate.
And we'll catch you all next time. If you're not just checking us out for this one thing, we'll catch you all next time for our next film, which will be Clue. So until then, take care. Tatty bye.
Tatty bye.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road, it's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on.
Get out of the booth, Jack.
No, I like it in here.